And now I'm going to say we're very happy to welcome the Reverend Patric Creelman.
Hello, everyone. It's great to see you. All of a sudden, my face became very big on the screen. It scared me for a second there. So thank you. I'm grateful to be here. I want to start today with a reading by John O'Donohue, and may his words echo through my voice and to your heart as intended. Blessed be the longing that brought you here and quickens your soul with wonder. May you have the courage to listen to the voice of desire that disturbs you when you have settled for something safe. May you have the wisdom to enter generously into your own unease, to discover a new direction your longing wants you to take. May the forms of your belonging in love, creativity, and friendship be equal to the grandeur and the call of your soul. And may the one you long for you. May your dreams gradually reveal the destination of your desire. May a secret providence guide your thought and nurture your feelings, and may your mind inhabit your life with sureness, and with the sureness with which your body inhabits the world. And may your heart never be haunted by the ghost structures of old damage, and may you come to accept your longing as divine urgency. And may you know the urgency with which God longs for you. Now, I use that reading as a reminder that our intentions are more heart-centered than sometimes we've been taught. They're really more the soul bubbling up and giving us a message, allowing us to see what is right for us to do. And I'm reminded that when I spoke in June here, my message was to be on unity, and that's what I spoke to. And I remarked then that it felt odd to be speaking about unity when we were in this land, certainly in America, that was feeling very ununified. And then when I got the invitation to speak for this time, the invitation was, the subject was intentions. You know, that seemed perfectly reasonable and right for the beginning of the new year to speak about intentions. But then obviously the events of last week began to dominate my thoughts, certainly I'm sure for many of us. And it felt like a little bit like intentions seemed sort of small in comparison to the world we're living in these days, and in comparison to the amount of tumult and the amount of probably conflicting intentions, certainly. But then I thought to myself, hey, get that out of your head, because really in times like this and in times of trouble and times of tumult, really, that is when intention is more important than anything. That is when spiritual practice is more important than anything. That is when prayer and meditation and community are more important than anything else. Yes, we have work to do, very real work to do in the world, but more importantly, how do we approach that work? How do we give ourselves the time to rally the forces, the internal forces, I'll say, and the fortitude in order to face what some of these darker times, some of these challenging ideologies that are out in the world for us, regardless of the stripe you're on, your political stripe. And I mentioned in the reading the words of longing and wonder. It's said that, I don't know who said this, but I'll paraphrase it, that mankind will perish not from lack of wonders in the world, but from a lack of wonder. I think wonder and the desire to lift ourselves up and connect to the oneness of the universe, the oneness to God, to love, to each other, to community, is key to our survival. And when we set an intention, we are putting ourselves in a place of wonder. To set an intention is tied to wonder. It requires imagination, it requires creativity, it requires vision, it requires listening deeply to what your soul desires, so that the soul's desire leads the way. So that the vision of the soul leads us further than the pain is pushing us. I know we've all, probably more than some of us, probably all of us, have done intentions workshops. We've written our letters. We've done the technology of intentions. We've done the pieces of intentions, as intention setting and goal setting and resolutions and all those sorts of things. We've done that. We've done many of those things. I'm not here to talk about that piece of it. I know you started your intentions letters last week. That's a very powerful tool, and it's one of the things that I do. I approach intentions differently than I used to. When we set an intentions, we're asked to sort of imagine something that is yet to be. And we're invited to believe it. And Rilke, he says, the future enters into us in order to transform itself in us long before the future happens. And our intention is like an invitation to the future. It's an invitation to an intentional, co-creative future that we haven't yet to see. We believe it, we imagine it, we do our vision boards, we do our spiritual practices and our sort of task lists. And then we set ourselves in motion. I wanted to discuss resolutions resolutions and compared to intentions. The resolution, we've made New Year's resolutions for many years probably. And I imagine by a raise of hands, who's done New Year's resolutions? New Year's resolutions. I've got a New Year's resolution as well, but that's another subject. A resolution is a firm decision, as defined in the dictionary, a firm decision to do or to not do something. It's sort of a task. It's something we're going to do. We're going to do more yoga. We're not going to speak an unkind word to someone. We're going to lose 10 pounds that we gained during COVID. Or we're going to actually complete a task. An intention is a different set. The definition of intention is to hold the end goal in mind, something that one has in mind to bring about, but it's not the tasks to bring it about. A resolution implies something I do in order to achieve something, something that's I'm going to accomplish and complete a task list. The task lists are important. An intention allows us to set a goal and then let the universe move through us. And I love that in the song today we used Use Me, intention. An intention that allows us to release ourselves and let God show me the way, show me what all that I must do. We don't need to worry about the end result exactly. We have the vision. We don't know, we have to worry about every step along the way. And we release ourselves into the idea that we are being guided. We have an end goal in mind, and then we step and we do each step along the way. That was mentioned in the prayer. What is our footwork in this moment? We align ourselves with the vision, and what is our footwork in this moment? And we allow ourselves to be guided along the way. Intention is the long view. Resolutions are the short view. There's the short, manageable chunks. And intention is the long view. It allows us to set a goal and allow the universe to move through us, show us what we must do. And a resolution often implies to me a negative. A lot of times a resolution is a reaction to something we didn't do. It's something that we didn't complete, a judgment, the judgment often attached with it. That what we've done in the past or we need to do. It's a very sort of task-oriented word. It operates in a sort of I would say, brokenness or pathology energy, something that needs to be fixed in order to be complete. I'm going to muscle this into being. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to achieve this year, make it on my list. I'm going to make this a complete project, a complete task. It puts us in a state of tension. We're creating by making something happen. In my mind, an intention gives us some freedom, gives us more option for creativity along the way. And I'd rather set myself up for that kind of energy throughout the year as much as possible. And it puts me in the this or something better mindset. We have our prayer, but then we have our intention, we have our prayer, we have our treatment, and then we're open to this or something better. A resolution says this is what I'm going to accomplish, and then I'm a success. An intention allows us to be in the this or something better energy, and allows us to be in the God has a bigger dream for me than I could have for myself energy, you know. And I think that is a more propelling energy. That is the vision pulling us forward instead of the task pushing us forward. That is the vision pulling us and drawing us into a greater yet to thee than the task or the pain or the negative connotation. That's how I sort of relate to resolutions. A resolution allows me to set a goal, not know exactly how I'm going to get there, and achieve it and move forward towards it. Intention requires more faith and more wonder. And intention requires me or allows me to have more space for my breath. Less constricted, more space to create, more space for what can happen to be imagined in greater ways. We don't have to know at the beginning how this is all going to happen, what our intention is for the year. But we move into it with our full intention. And I wrote something down. The vision is the gateway principle. It's a God principle. And Troward says, and I'm surprised I'm going to Thomas Troward because I didn't like reading him when I was in school, but I've grown to love him as I've been out in Seattle. He's been quite a teacher in our community here, and I've certainly found new passions for his work. He's Judge Thomas Troward. He can be very legal or sort of wordy, for lack of a better word. He says this about intention: having seen and felt the end, you have willed the means to the realization to the end. You've already put it in place. You've held the vision. You've created the intention. You've known what it felt like because you've imagined it. You've gone into your soul. You've gone into your dream state. You've gone into your desire and wish for the year or wish for the week. Hopefully you've done some creative visualization and you've laid it out clearly. And the emotional feeling tone of that is what's pulling you towards it. And by writing it down, by getting clear with it, and attaching your heart and your soul and your emotional feeling towards it, you've already created the possibility for the means to make it happen. And you don't have to know the details. You don't have to know, but you create the means and you're creating the atmosphere for magic to happen. We create the potentiality play zone for things to happen that we can't even imagine at the beginning. We all know that when we are, for instance, if we want to go to the kitchen, we just have a thought in our mind and we are already, our energy is already moving us towards the kitchen. We don't have to think, okay, brain, move the feet, move the heart so that I keep breathing as I move to the kitchen. I don't have to turn left here. I don't have to do this. We don't have to think about every single step. We've got the vision in our head. Our brain automatically rewires itself, says, okay, you want to go to the kitchen. And everything in our body aligns to move us in that direction. Everything. Many things happen in our body and our consciousness we aren't even conscious about. That is what intentions do. When I do a class or when I do a big trip or when I, for a talk like this, anything, any project I begin, I set an intention for that project. And then I do the work, and then I let it go. And I know what my intention is, and I let the intention guide me. And the work along the way may shift. I may take a right turn, a left turn. It may be one of those paths that does all this, but you end up where your intention set you. And an intention allows us also to change direction. If partway through towards our intention, towards the goal, we change our mind because something has moved us in another direction or a slightly reshaped intention, that's okay. That is the soul calling us forward. That is God calling us forward. That is the vision pulling us into the future, into our greatest yet to be. And Thomas Troward also says, take care of the heart, and the head will take care of itself. In my mind, taking care of the heart is our greatest work. Self-care is our greatest work, because that allows us the resilience, allows us the strength, allows us the presence to do what is ours to do, and to even hear what is ours to do. I know this year has been challenging for many of us, even if we're still busy and we're still working. And there's variations of that. Some people haven't worked. Some people are busy. I haven't stopped working the whole time, but my work is very different. I'm caught up in a lot of the head stuff, the brain stuff, the task list, the to-dos, reworking and reworking how we do things, changing directions many times. My job description has changed several times this year, and it's changing again. That is the head stuff that needs to be taken care of. That is the work stuff. And the challenge for us is to stay in the soul, to stay in the heart, to take care of the heart. I don't know if you can see this. This is a paper towel, a napkin. The busyness of the world, say this is the busyness of the world, or the thing that is keeping us from the achieving our vision, or thing that's keeping us from being heart-centered. That's there, that's in the world. The problem with things is that when it gets this close to our eyes, to our head, to our vision, to our conscious mind, all we can see is a little bit up here, a little bit we can see down here, we can't see anything. We lose perspective because we are so blinded by the thing that's keeping us from achieving what we want to achieve, from the world of effects, from the election, from the taxes, from the whatever it is that's going on, the social unrest, whatever it is that's dominating your brain is keeping you from your vision. And the only way, this isn't going to go away, but what it can do when we do this, all of a sudden, when we keep it in perspective, we can see everything around us. We can see a 360 degree. We're not blinded by our belief in a past problem, in a past issue, by the limited notion of the world. We're not blinded by that. That can come and go. We all know we're human. We can get bogged down. I got bogged down this week when the insurrection happened. But put this out here. That is still present. We're not ignoring it. It's still there, and we make room for more to happen. This is the this or something better. Scripture says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you. Thomas Troward says, take care of the heart, and the head will take care of itself. We say, let go and let God. Well, setting intention is truly letting go and let God. It's doing the conscious work of deciding and then letting go. The conscious work of deciding and then allowing ourselves to be moved in the direction. For me, setting an intention is more about how I feel than what I'm going to accomplish. Because I know that by the time I get to the end of the year, or the time I get to the end of a project, the result might look different than when I started. I have an idea, like when a painter paints, there's an idea, he or she has an idea, they have a blank canvas and a bunch of paints, they think they know what they're going to paint, but I guarantee you more often than not, what they thought they were going to paint isn't what they ended up painting. And they can't paint the entire painting all at once, They have an intention and they paint one paint stroke at a time, one piece at a time, one corner at a time, and then they do the next thing until the vision is fulfilled. For me, I have a couple ways I approach intentions. One is I have a word for the year. I don't necessarily have a specific vision for the year. I have a word that is sort of the dominating operating principle, for lack of a better word. And when I get caught up in the day-to-day life, I return to the word, and that hopefully guides me, and that I can align things into that word. One year, the word was assimilation. And then another year recently was alignment. And then the next year was integration. Last year was expression. And I allow everything in my life to be guided by that large word umbrella principle of expression. Now, last year, my expression got limited because I wasn't performing. We didn't do a lot of the things that we normally would do where I had opportunities for that. I was going to start auditioning for theater again and doing these other things. And then all of a sudden, COVID happened and that didn't present itself. But I still kept the word expression as my dominating word for the year, my intention for the word. The other way I look at intentions is, what qualities of being do I want to experience at the end of the project? What qualities of being, how do I want to feel at the end of this year, at the end of this week? And then I allow the feelings. For instance, I want to feel confident. I want to feel self-expressed. I want to feel more love. I want to feel like I've been of service. I want to have those feelings, feelings of generosity. I want to have feelings of completion. And then I make every decision along the way in alignment towards that goal. No matter what it is I'm doing, I can still feel accomplished. I could still feel creative. I could still feel a sense of service. The tasks may change. I may be doing different things in my job these days than I was a year ago. The tasks things we may need to be done in the moment may feel mundane. They may feel laborious. They may not be the most fun, creative things that we've always wanted to do, but I can approach the Excel spreadsheet, which isn't my joy. I can approach my various Excel spreadsheets with a sense of wonder, with a sense of how can I be creative within this project? And then that immediately engages me differently. It doesn't create tension. It creates an opening to be creative with this Excel spreadsheet, with the tasks at hand. Now, these are sort of challenging times for us, and certainly this next few weeks might cause us some concern. But I think it's more important than ever to keep the intention, as was mentioned in the prayer, to keep the intentions for fulfilling God's or the universe's principle in us. What did I write down? I wrote down, to demonstrate the truth in our life. As part of your mission, the goal is to demonstrate the truth for you, as you, in your life. We hold on to the vision, we hold on to the intention, and then we let go and let God. There will never be a shortage of things to do. There will never be a shortage of tasks. There will never be a world that is without challenge. But how do we approach those things? How do we approach our lives? How do we approach the various pieces of things that are challenging in our lives or that are just the day-to-day living things? Do we approach them from a constricted point of view? Or do we approach them with the vision pulling us forward, allowing us space to be more creative with them? Do we approach them with intention? Or do we approach them in a state of tension? My goal and my hope is for the former, and that we allow ourselves to be pulled forward, and we allow ourselves to come to accept your longing as a divine urgency, your soul's call as a divine urgency, and that may you know the urgency with which God longs for you. Thank you. I appreciate your time.